You need to shut the fuck up.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
put on your uniform right,
Expert Action Badge.
show up to work on time,
Expert Action Badge.
qualify on your weapon,
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right. Just doing your noble warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action. The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. Action Badge.
It's Tuesday, December 19th. I had to look at the date because I honestly can't tell you that I can't even really say for sure if it is in fact Tuesday. I can't. I don't know. It's weird. I've worked a lot and it's only Tuesday. So, meh. Hello, everybody, to Tied Up Tuesday. I'm Minx, obviously. I'm with Grey Cloud, who, again, you can't see because I have yet to figure out the whole wire system as to why things aren't working properly as if he has his video up. So that's why you can't see him. Hello.
Hello, Binks. Yeah. Well, come on. We know who really drives the show. They tune in to listen and see you, not really listen and not look at me.
Oh, I thought you were about to actually talk shit about me and be like, oh no, I drive the shuttle here, and I was about to get offended and be like, oh yeah, okay, you want this? Okay, fine. But then you proved me wrong. So, whoops. I will redact my overreaction, and I will substitute no reaction.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, true story. Mm-hmm. Shit.
Exactly.
How's your week been? I know it's only Tuesday, but I feel like I haven't talked to you in, I don't know, fucking ever.
Yeah. It's been a little interesting. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. Everybody's still kind of recovering at work and moving forward from the previous week. And then business as usual for work, as per the norm. And the rumor mills are flying around work with the looming budget fight.
Oh.
And we will see what happens with that.
Ah. That's exciting, I guess.
Yeah, and school's out for the next 3 weeks. So.
Oh, nice. So does that mean you won't be traveling as much then over the next couple weeks, or are you still going to be traveling?
I will travel this weekend to go visit some important people in my life.
Yay, important people.
Mainly my kiddos.
Aww.
I hope it's a good weekend. That's all.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. That's
so
awesome.
How about you? You've been cranking away or slaving away at the hospital?
Dude, slaving would be the correct term. Although I will say I am somewhere, it's all like literally for this week, it's only Tuesday, right? I'm at somewhere around 14 hours of overtime already for this week, just this week alone. So fuck my life. I'm exhausted. My ortho doc has been working me like a fucking dog. He actually called me in on Sunday when I wasn't on call and asked me to come help him with a case. And because I spoil my doc and I have a really hard time saying no, especially when they beg, I'm like, ugh, fine. And that's what my reaction was. All right, fine. And then he's like, I'll buy you food after. And I was like, oh, okay. That's all you had to say. There's food involved? Hell yeah, hell yeah, I'll be there. True story. Seriously, like, I enjoy food. If you can't tell, I like food. Oh, and then yesterday at work, yesterday was Monday. Yes. Okay. Yesterday at work was an interesting day. We played Never Have I Ever. Well, okay. So it had started off as like, just like asking, the youngest person in the room, who is one of our sales reps, if like, cause he got married like super young. So I'm trying to figure out like if he has lived really at all. And so I was asking questions about like what he has or has not done, so, like, when it comes to like sex, right? And there's a lot that was on the not done list. And so then it turned into a game of Never Have I Ever between myself and my doc and my anesthesia provider and the nurse, like everyone in the room. We all started playing, and things got pretty interesting pretty quickly.
I'm sure they did.
They did. It was thinteresting, to say the least. You're like, oh, well, glad we all know each other this much better.
Because those are the important conversations when you have somebody under the knife.
Exactly. Well, the patient was asleep. They don't know. If y'all only knew the conversations we were having. Again, I said, we were playing Never Have I Ever, and we were all sober because, again, we're at work. So.
Well, you say sober.
Right? Well.
Fine. First of all, let's define sober.
Okay, not under the influence of any drugs or alcohol.
Oh, okay.
In a clear state of mind. Well, no, I can't even say that. Yeah, just not under any sort of influence of anything. So, whoops. Yeah, so that happened yesterday. Sunday night was interesting. Sunday night was very interesting. Oh, I triggered a hooker. Well, I don't know if she really was a hooker. She claims to be a nurse, but bitch got triggered over two sentences that I stated, which were strictly my opinion, right? Because last time I checked, I'm allowed to have an opinion. I commented on a friend's Facebook status, like she had posted something about net neutrality and like, oh, what was everybody about net neutrality? And I was like, oh, I can't fucking stand this anymore. So I commented on there my opinion, which is good riddance, right? Government never should have been involved in the internet in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, if this hooker did not fucking write me a goddamn novel about how I'm a horrible person and how, well, fine, if we take the government out of the internet, we should take the government out of hospitals and out of the roads and out of fucking everything. And I'm like, all right, one, that's a bit of an overreaction. And two, judging by this first response from you, I can tell you and I are not going to have any sort of civil conversation because you've already made up in your mind that I don't know what I'm talking about, and therefore I must be an evil person because I have a different opinion than you. So there's no point in even having any sort of conversation with you because you're just going to you're going to make personal attacks towards me. Let's see if we can have some fun, shall we? Oh my God, she got so mad. She got so mad. Like, I just started responding to her with GIFs of, like, first one was, like, of me eating, like, that fucking gazelle eating popcorn. And it was like, go on. And And she kept going. And so then I did another one of like being poked with a stick, and she kept going. And each response, it was like a novel. And I just responded to it with laughter because I thought it was hilarious. It was so much fun. And then she, but yeah, like I said, she started like personally attacking me and like me as like a person. I'm like, I don't even know who you are, let alone that you even existed up until you commented on my, like, replied to my comment. So what the fuck? Like, who the fuck are you, right? Well, then apparently she went and stalked my real book, or as much of it as she fucking could, like, you know, any just public pictures, I guess. And she was like, well, going off your profile, you're not old enough to remember a time without the internet. And I'm like, oh, one, thank you for assuming that I have never lived in a time without internet. That makes me feel really good. Two, you're wrong. Three, you have no life if you fucking went and Facebook stalked me. Psycho. So then I asked her for her address so I could so I can mail her a shovel for Christmas so she could dig the sand out of her vagina.
Oh.
But
how'd that go over?
She was like, I will not send you my address. And I was like, are you sure? Because I feel like you really need it. We might have to get like a backhoe or something. Like, we don't know how entrenched this sand is. Like, we got to make sure it gets out, right? I was like, nobody wants to fuck a sandy vagina. Just saying. Like, I'm trying to help you out. And she fucking kept going and going and going.
It's terrible.
So I started posting gifs of like triggered. Like I just searched for triggered and I just started firing those off. And I'm like, you're so mad right now. This is so entertaining. And then she wouldn't stop. She kept saying like, I'm done talking to you. And so I'd respond with like, okay, bye. And then she'd fucking come back. And I'm like, God, it's like you want this to happen. So I kept fucking baiting her. And the bear took it. The heifer took the bait. And so I ended it though when I was like, you know, you've been a lot of fun to talk to. But you know, I really only want to converse with subject matter experts. And that is not what you are. So thank you again for your opinion. Really, you should really look into getting at least a hand shovel so you can at least scrape some of the sand out. You'll thank me later. And then I was like, okay, have a good night. Bye, hun. I threw that hun in there. I did. I'm kind of a bitch.
Bless you. No.
Yeah, I mean, a little.
No, come on. Come on. No.
It's true. Yeah, no, but seriously, like, and then, so she and I had like a mutual friend, and it was a mutual friend who I had originally commented on my opinion. And like, my friend and I normally are very, very similar when it comes to our opinions, right? And so my friend actually, the next day, Monday, she apologized to me and she's like, listen, I'm really sorry about what this person said. I've had to, you know, delete a lot of her comments off of my stuff because she attacks my friends, and I don't put up with this. And I'm like, and I told her, I was like, dude, don't even worry about it. I was having a great time. Like, she was super entertaining, you know, like, honestly. But that leads me into something. Mm-hmm. So according to an Iowa professor, Iowa.
Hold on.
All right. Let me specify. University of Northern Iowa. Either way, it's Iowa. Says that polite conversation is how white people assert control. Therefore, if you have polite civil conversation, you are now a racist and you are exercising your white privilege over everybody. Somehow. So again, the University of Northern Iowa professor She wrote a paper that claims white homogeny makes civil conversation a racist tool of oppression, justifying the constant leftist violence that ensures no dialogue can exist. Oh, that was another thing that one hooker on Sunday admitted to, anyways, because she started like I said, she started personally attacking me when she has no idea who the fuck I am or what I'm about or anything about me, but she starts personally insulting me, and it's like going after my character as a person, and I'm like, you don't even know me. 1, 2, way to be the tolerant liberal. And she self-admitted, she's like, liberals have never claimed to be tolerant. Why do you think we're constantly fighting people like you? We're always going to fight you guys. Like, we will never be back down or be quiet. And in my head, I'm like, but we're the group with the guns. Like, how does this work?
Come at me, bro.
Right? Come at me, bro. Right? Come on, brah. But yeah, so this article goes on to say, damned if you do, damned if you don't. According to the academic article written by 2 communications professors. This article is written by communications professors. Quote, whiteness-informed civility supposedly functions to assert control of space and create a good white identity. Civility within higher education is a radicalized rather than universal norm. The C. Kyle Ruddick and Catherine B. Goslin wrote, while citing, quote, critical whiteness studies, unquote. You can't make this shit up.
No, and again, their study was they interviewed all of 10.
Yeah, they interviewed only 10 whites, and only white students, and then asked them racially based questions.
10 samples of anything does not a study make.
Right? And these hookers are fucking professors. Like, these are the professors at our higher education institutions.
Yeah, and that's what it's coming to. I mean, I'm tempted many times to use the female restroom and let somebody call me on it, and I'll use it right against them. Did you just assume my gender?
I almost said that to that hooker on Sunday. When I was almost like, oh, I'm sorry, I assumed that you were a female, but going off of your name, which was Kate, and your profile picture, which you look feminine, I'm assuming that you're female. I almost said that, but I was like, let's just stick with the buttons I've already pushed and see what happens.
I've seriously thought about that during our lunch breaks and whatnot. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use one, because let's face it. Well, usually ladies' restrooms are much nicer and stocked much gooder.
It
than,
smells better too.
The guys' bathrooms.
It smells better too. Just throwing that out there.
just saying, and then let them say something to me, and then I'll throw their stupid fucking.
I identify as a woman. But yeah, no.
Why we're on that? So, again, I'm at my school and whatnot. A couple weeks back, I got an email saying that students could update their preferred name, their preferred pronouns, and their preferred gender to be addressed as. However, what could not be changed or adjusted was your actual legal name and what would be in all your legalese, I guess.
Like your diploma?
Your documentation and stuff. Yeah, and your diploma. So whatever you enrolled with, when you presented your birth certificate and all this other, these legal documents that you have to give the school so you can enroll, there are certain criteria that has to be follow that naming convention, I guess, if that's how we want to word it. But I saw that email. I was like, are you fucking shitting me? people can just, I guess we can just pick and choose now.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously. Okay. So we talked. We kind of joked around about that in my room on Monday. So, my hospital is coming up on a JCAHO inspection, which is like a nationally and like it's a committee that has never actually worked in like my department ever, but yet they're the ones who decide what standards I'm supposed to follow. Most of the time they're fucking stupid. And I'll say it every time. Like it's gotten to the point where they want me to gown and glove just to open everything. Just so I can break scrub, go re-scrub, re-gown and glove and set everything up. And like my nurse, my head nurse was like, you need to put a second hat over your hat. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And she was like, yeah, you got to put this disposable hat over your cloth hat. And I was like, that's stupid. And she was like, well, that's the standard. And I was like, it's still stupid. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's a stupid standard. When there have been countless studies done by a bunch of different doctors that state that this whole double hat thing does not do shit when it comes to infection rates, which is the whole purpose. Like, that was her whole thing, was like, oh, it helps with infection rates. No, it doesn't. Like, having clean gloves when you put dressings on, that helps the infection rate. Fucking.
Please show me this standard or study where it says a double hat makes it more cleanlier.
Dude, it's so stupid. And like, we're supposed to cover our fucking ears. And I'm like, well, I've got like, if I go longer than 2 weeks without waxing my eyebrows, like they get pretty froggy. So does that mean I got to pull my hat down over my eyebrows now? Like, cause it's like, all hair must be covered. I'm like, the fuck, like, my eyelashes, fuck. Like, how much hair are we talking about here? Like, every so often, I have dark hair. Every so often, I have to get my upper lip waxed. It happens. I'm pale. I have dark hair. You can see it, right? Other females, you guys know, we get little mustaches. You guys know. And, fucking, do I cover that up? I mean, it's already there, because I'm wearing a mask, but still. But yeah, no, okay, so they're like, our hospital's about to get inspected, like sometime within the next couple months. Well, they've added some things to our surgical timeout list, which is like a checklist as far as like, who, the patient that we're operating on, what we're operating on, the procedure we're doing on this patient, if it's the left or the right side, blah, blah, blah. Well, they added a step in there, which is to introduce yourself to everybody in the room.
What?
Every single case, mind you. Every single case. Doesn't matter if you've been in the room the entire day together. You still have to be like, I'm Minx, I'm the scrub tech, right? So I was like, this is stupid. Again, stupid policy. This is fucking dumb. Like, it's a small hospital. It's not like I'm going to have some random person in there and be like, who the fuck are you? Which I already do anyways. If I don't recognize someone, like if a new rep comes in, I'll fucking call them out and be like, who the fuck are you? And why are you in my OR? Like, I have no problem doing that. But again, I know everybody that I work with because it's a small hospital. So yeah, so we have to do this, like, introduce yourself thing. And so I was telling my doc, I was like, I'm going to make us fail this inspection. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm going to just claim that I'm somebody new each and every case. What are they going to do? Like, tell me I'm wrong? All I have to do is be like, I identify as blank. And then what can they do? What can they do? You can't have it both ways.
That would make for an interesting session for sure.
I might get in trouble. But that's okay. What are they going to do? Fire me? I don't think so. I'm one of the hardest workers they've got. And I know many docs who would be highly upset if they fired me. So what are they going to do? Nothing.
Well, you see that.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
but
so
hey,
yeah.
that sounds like you are rock and roll, apparently.
Dude, I'm fucking awesome. Like, what can I say? So remember earlier I was saying how we were playing Never Have I Ever yesterday at work?
Uh-huh.
Well, one of the things that, like, was brought up was, like, you know, never have I ever done anything with any animals. You know, and, like, well, one, it was, like, we started off with, like, you know, a donkey or a goat, and then we're just like, you know what, let's just fucking group it all together. Like, never have I ever done anything with bestiality. Not for me. I understand some people are into that. Not me. Personally, I don't get it. But Germany, apparently, has opened up brothels for those wanting to bang a goat.
Well, yeah, mine, Syria, ISIS. I mean,
right?
Opportunity, right?
Right? No, oh my God, this article I found was hilarious. It says a sigh of relief can be heard in Tiergardens across the fatherland as news emerges of bestiality brothels opening up in Germany. In unconnected news, the number of Syrian migrants in the country is now estimated at 1.5 million. The article goes on to say, as news of the animal brothel craze hit German national broadcaster ZDF, anxiety among petting zoo ponies dropped precipitously. There we go. Haha. November, a 23-year-old Syrian man allegedly sexually assaulted a pony in broad daylight in front of children at a park in Berlin. Animal welfare officer Madeline Martin told the Frankfurt Rundschau that Germany's current laws enable zoophiles to carry out their sexual deviancy without contention. Bestiality is not illegal in Germany. In case anybody wanted to go bang an animal, you can do it in Germany. Martin is quoted as saying there are now animal brothels in Germany, claiming that people are turning to animals for sex as a, quote, lifestyle choice. Hilarious.
Yeah.
In one case, Martin told this newspaper about a case of bestiality in the Gross-Grau region. I think I said that right. I don't know. Of southwest Germany. Oh, no. She explained that a farmer began to notice his flock of sheep shy away from human contact when previously they were tame. The farmer, who decided to rig a video surveillance system in his barn, witnessed several men sneaking in during the night to have sexual relations with the animals. Using similar cases as this, Martin has called for the government to make bestiality illegal across Germany. The Daily Mail reports that the German government was planning to reinstate a law that would make bestiality illegal after a sharp rise of incidents involving people having sex with animals. Wonder who that might be. So now there are, quote, erotic zoos, unquote, around Germany, which people can visit to have sexual intercourse with animals, such as goats and llamas. The German zoophile group Zeta announced it will oppose any ban on bestiality. The mere concept of morality have no business being law, claims Michael Kioch, the Zeta chairman.
I wonder how PETA feels about this.
Right? Excuse me, PETA. Like, I know they're against people eating tasty animals, but how do you feel about people fucking them? Are you good with that or no? Oh my God. Like, Casey.
Oh my God.
But my ex isn't there? Right? Joe, make sure you bring your Velcro gloves, everybody. But no, seriously, like, I don't understand sexual attraction between a person and a dog or, you know, anything. And like, you know, like, and I get it, you know, everyone hears about, like, you know, donkey shows down in Tijuana and you know, there's in, what was it, Clerks 2, something like that. They had a donkey show in there. And like, I think my reaction would be the same as that chick's, where you're like, morbidly disgusted, but at the same time, you can't look away, right? Or and be like, God, what the fuck's happening over there, right? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't understand it, but, you know, again, there's fucking kinks out there for everybody. But doing an animal is not mine. It's not one of mine. Or having an animal do me.
That's just really awkward. That whole situation is just really awkward.
Right. Like that.
But what about it is that they are actually allowing this to happen. Like they're creating a market for it.
Right? Oh, and that's just like that one company who's making like sex dolls, but like child size. And the hopes that it like fulfills people into like pedophilia, into acting out their urges on this like doll instead of going after a kid, you know? But instead
you know what else would help?
Chemical castration.
Well, or you fill the dolls with explosives.
Oh, that too. But yeah, no, instead Germany's like, we're going to have a whole zoo where you can just go and fuck anything in there.
What the fuck? Who is it? Hold on. Now I gotta look this up for the nation. Hold on.
We'll go on.
There was a lady of England or something like that was killed by attempting bestiality.
What?
Yeah, hold on.
No, like now, oh my God, I need to know.
Hold on.
I'm waiting with so much anticipation.
I'm trying. Snoops did it. Okay. Snoops is good, right? Snoops has got good stuff.
Who knows?
Snoops is saying it's false. Okay. Catherine Great died attempting to engage sexual intercourse with a horse. So the claim is that they attempted to lure. She was into all this weird shit, and they attempted to lure a horse onto her. The truss collapsed, crushing Catherine the Great while attempting to have sex with a horse.
That's so weird.
Snoops is saying this is false.
Well,
but man, that
Snopes has also been found to be left-leaning and not truthful.
Yeah, well, come on. This is...
We don't
this
know.
Is royalty trying to have sex with a horse.
Exactly, and that shit would... And exactly, that, which means it probably happened, because let's face it, they would have paid any amount of money for somebody to be like, say it's false. Say this never happened. I will pay you whatever you want to just say it never happened. You know?
She's dying there.
Right?
This never happened.
This never happened.
Is that the early term of delete my browser history?
Probably. We don't know. Right? If I die, destroy my computer.
Yeah. Burn that shit to the ground.
Submerge it in water. Set it on fire in that order.
So Sith Lord, yes, in the mixer. Yes, people are nuts, and there's a shit ton wrong with people, apparently.
Right? I mean, God, if they're opening up brothels and, erotic petting zoos, how many people out there... honestly, you see those blow-up sheep in, the sex stores, and you're like, this is funny.
It's funny, haha.
Right?
Not anymore,
you send it to your buddies downrange as, a fucking gag gift. Here you go, in case you get lonely.
And there's video out there that supports that stuff happening with the locals. I'm just saying.
Right? No, they go after the donkeys.
There's raw footage of it happening downrange.
Right? I've seen those videos too. Those are good ones. But it's the same morbid disgust where you're like, what the fuck are they actually doing? And then comes the excitement when all of a sudden they blow up. And you're like, oh, good. You feel bad for the donkey or the goat or the llama because it gets blown up too. But then you're like, it's not getting fucked. So I'd call it a win. So.
Jesus.
KJ just put out that the House passed the tax bill.
Oh.
Oh.
So the House passed it. The Senate's ready to roll on it to vote. It's in debate right now.
I thought the Senate already voted on it.
The who?
I thought the Senate already voted on it.
No, the House has already voted on the consolidated version of it. But the House has to do a secondary vote due to a technicality of some sort.
You're a technicality. Sorry, what?
Yeah, so
It's just my natural reaction.
There's some kind of technicality. They don't think it's going to change the vote outcome or any major changes in the tax bill itself. But there's an article I saw about the tax bill that voted in the House. There's some kind of technicality, and they're going to have to re-vote on it in the morning to ensure that everything was done correctly.
Interesting.
I'm trying to find that article quick. Oh, there. Bam. Senate to vote tonight. House to re-vote Wednesday due to a technicality. Let me see if I can find that piece in the article quick. Oh, there it is. Okay. A version of the bill passed along sharp partisan lines, 227 to 203, with 12 House GOP members opposing the legislation, and no Democrats voting for it earlier Tuesday. But shortly after debate started in the Senate, the House Majority Leader's office advised its conference to be prepared to vote Wednesday, citing Senate rules that would likely strip out certain parts of the final bill in order to pass with a simple majority. So with that paragraph right there, let me go back to last week's show, where we were following that special election in Alabama, right? Where that one seat, that one vote could actually make a difference in something major.
Oh, isn't that how that Virginia guy got voted in? Oh, also, I'm not ignoring you, Justin. I promise. I'm not neglecting the comment section. Sorry, keep going.
It's all good. So now instead of a 48 to 52 to 48 advantage, it's a 51 to 49 advantage that the GOP has, and depending on how certain senators break and how they really feel about this bill and whatnot and future bills, that one vote could literally make a huge difference. They're looking to try and pass it with a simple majority, 51 votes, right? And when it comes down to that is if they are at the 50 vote mark, either way, that means the vice president has to weigh in and vote, right? That's not really how you want to plan on winning or passing legislation where it comes down to a simple majority, whereas you need the vice president to come in and weigh. Because let's face it, that could be completely unpredictable.
Yeah.
Or if he does vote, it ends up splitting it. And that's the other thing is that if it's one way or the other, he can't vote, right? So if it's 51 to if it's 50 to 49 or whatever, however you want to cut it, it's that he cannot influence for the GOP, if that makes sense. So the only time he can vote out if the Senate splits 50-50, and then he can vote either way, and then that simple majority rule would take effect. But without that, each one of those votes are going to become very crucial here the next couple days.
Right.
All right. So, the story. The Senate expects to clear the bill later Tuesday, i.e., they're getting ready to vote on it tonight, with Vice President Mike Pence presiding over the vote, which means they are expecting it to come down to a single vote or a couple of votes, either way, either pass or fail. After the bill clears the House again, as expected to do so, the measure then heads to the president's desk for signature before the Christmas holiday, making good on the Republican Party's promise to enact tax relief by the year's end.
I know, like, on that tax calculator with this new tax plan, my taxes go down. So, I'm excited about that. Like, my taxes go down, but then my income, like, from taxes goes up. So.
Right.
Super excited. Oh yeah, Justin, really quick, how you coming on with that science experiment? Let us know. Do you know what he has to do?
Yes, I was listening to your show as I was driving back from class on Friday.
Oh. Yes, I'm so excited.
At least.
He better come through with that. I'll be unhappy. So I know like the media, all of the media pretty much has been doing nothing except focusing on bad things with this presidency. And nobody's bringing up the fact that, as of, what was it? I think Thursday or even Monday even, there have been 70 record-breaking high, stock market closing days just in the last year. And, I want to know why no one's talking about that. You would think that would be a big deal. And would be like, oh my God, he's doing awesome. Because for a fact, if it was reversed and it was low end closing, people would be blaming him left and right.
Yes, they would if it was falling apart.
But as that's not happening. And then on top of that, our GDP is at 3.9%, which it hasn't been for a long fucking time. And everyone fucking laughed at him when he was give me a year, I can have our GDP up to about, maybe 4%. We don't know. And he's fucking doing it. And nobody's covering this. Nobody knows. It's ridiculous.
Right. And that's, again, it goes back to the whole politics thing. I mean, you can tie that to anything. I mean, damned if you do and damned if you don't, is that if it does well, everybody's going to say it's the previous stuff. If he were to tank it, or if the market was suffering, then it'd be his fault as well.
Just everyone, I remember when he was campaigning and how he was saying, I'm going to grow the GDP. I'm going to boost it. I'm going to get it better. I'm going to get it to, this percentage within a year. Everyone was fucking laughing at him. And now that he's fucking done it, nobody's talking about it. Because they're like, oh shit, he proved us right. He's actually following through with his campaign promises? The fuck's this? What the fuck's going on?
And nobody wants to acknowledge it.
Nope.
No one. Because they're afraid to.
Right? It's just, oh my God, he tweeted mean things.
Yeah, and that's what everyone wants to focus on.
Right?
Is all this Rigetti's tweeting.
Right.
And a lot of it's garbage.
Ugh, it's so annoying. So fucking annoying.
But it's, I wish they'd focus on more positive. You're saying that the stock market's on a tear. I mean, literally, it's been on a tear since he jumped in office, and it's good for the economy.
Right. Friggin'.
Yeah. And I'm trying to find. I know they, like you're saying, I know they quoted this statistic. I'm trying to find the actual statistic of how many record closes there have been since he's taken office.
70.
And I'm not. Is it 70?
Yeah. KJ, you're right. It's not just Trump. This is corporations and businesses. However, like Grey Cloud was saying, if it was reversed and corporations and businesses in the stock market was tanking, the whole blame would be put on President Trump. You can't tell me differently because it would be a dirty lie.
Right. And then everybody, they called it, when it first started happening, everybody called it the Trump bump and all this other stuff. So what if there is a bubble burst in his second year?
Mm-hmm.
does he
Right?
get blamed for that bubble burst?
Right? Would that then be his fault?
Right, because nobody blamed Obama when the economy tanked in 08 right after he got elected.
Right? Oh no, that was Bush. Was it?
But it
Was
was
it,
Bush's
though?
waning months.
Right.
It was literally his last 3 months in office. Because I remember going into training, and the market being at, I don't know, I was like 14 and some change or something like that. It was doing really well. And the first time I got to see news, because we're cut off from the outside world for this certain training, the market was at 7,000 when the next time I saw the news.
Right? You're like, what the
And I
fuck
was like,
just happened?
Happened.
Right? Where'd the stock market go? But no,
What happened in 4 weeks,
right.
6 weeks, whatever it was.
Right. Joe, you need to be careful with that reverse cowgirl. That's how you get broke dick. Gotta be careful. But no, it's true. And then I love how KJ won't admit that I'm right. It's just probably. We're right and you fucking know it.
Well, it's KJ. I mean, come on.
Right? Oh God, he says that stupid H word. It like physically makes my eye fucking twitch every time he says it in the chat, and I want to just like kick him out of chat for like a couple seconds and then bring him back in and be like, "That's your warning. That's your warning, KJ. I will fuck you up."
Nice.
What?
That's not very nice.
I'm not a nice
Why did you want
person.
to keep... Yes, you are.
But yeah. Oh, speaking of not nice people.
Uh-oh.
Some Connecticut parents are reportedly, or have reportedly pulled their kids out of school after Ivanka Trump made a surprise visit. So Ivanka on Monday spoke to high school students at the Norwalk Early College Academy, a program at Norwalk High School that allows students to earn a high school diploma and associate's degree in software engineering. The visit was kept quiet due to security concerns, according to New Jersey's News 12, which reported that parents who opposed the president's views were upset that they did not know about the visit. This one person named Carrie, although honestly, let's face it, her name should be Karen because Karen is always a douchebag. This should have been brought to our attention, although I do understand security reasons. I think we should have had the choice to send our child to school or keep them home. Ivanka Trump was also joined by IBM CEO Jenny Rometty, there we go, on the visit. Because why would you want your child to, I don't know, be able to listen to a strong, successful woman? Am I right? Who fucking succeeded
Agreed.
in the men's world, who broke that quote-unquote glass ceiling, who her own dad has trained her out of all her brothers, has trained his daughter to take over all of his fucking empire. But no, she has nothing of value or importance to say because I don't agree with her politics. So she is obviously a terrible, terrible person. So
that goes back to everybody being petty and
God,
petty bullshit's what it comes down to, and they don't want to look at the bigger picture or anything larger than themselves, because all that matters is how they feel and their feelings and this and garbage.
right?
Look at the bigger picture. An icon, somebody who's achieved more than you could possibly imagine at this point, and where they were and where they started.
Right?
Right? CEO of IBM.
Right? Who's female?
Last time I checked, pretty impressive company to be in charge of and be running and deciding their fucking future for all intents and purposes.
Right? Fucking KJ. Oh my God. KJ, you naughty, naughty man. He says, so let's listen to Michelle Obama talk about health food and working out and ignore the folds of fat under her arms. KJ.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you can say that because you just did, but then you made me say it. So.
Because you.
Shit.
Oh, that's terrible.
Right.
Oh, so Alan Holmes brings up a good point. Cause, why do you have a problem with low-income citizens receiving large refunds? They're getting their own money back. So for two points on that. One is I've seen it where low-income families get more than what they paid into the their income tax. I have been in that boat where I've received more back than I paid into income tax because of the way the tax laws worked, because of the way it broke down. It just happened to work out for me. And the other question is, everybody wanted to bitch and moan about Trump's taxes, right? Oh, he didn't pay his fair share, blah, 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 and all this other garbage, right? I'm sorry. You show me one individual in the United States who does not want to get a tax return, who does not want a tax refund, or who wants to severely limit the amount of taxes that they owe so they can either get money back or not owe as much. You show me that individual who wants to just give their money to the government because of taxes and they have to pay their fair fucking share.
Way to go, Alan. You triggered Gray Cloud.
Not one fucking individual is going to do that. Why? Because everybody wants a tax refund. Everybody wants to pay the minimum or as little as possible. But no, everybody wants to bitch. Oh, he didn't pay his fair share. The corporations don't pay their fair share. The rich don't pay their fair share. Bullshit, motherfucker. Look in the mirror. You don't want to pay your fair share either. You want to pay as little as possible and use all the deductions you can get and all this other garbage to get your money back or to get a refund or to pay as little as possible if you owe. For fuck's sake. Everybody's got the same goal when it comes to tax season. To not pay anything and get a refund. Fuck. End of rant.
Y'all triggered my co-host. Way to go. It's going to take me a long time to get him calmed down now. This is hilarious. Dude, you all right there?
Good. I'm good now.
That's a pretty epic rant. Goodness.
Anyway.
Oh, I do like his statement where he says the government shouldn't pay people to breed.
I agree with that. Good point too.
I do agree with that. Mostly because I know someone who last year in taxes got back $5,000 when all she did was have a kid and collected unemployment and other welfare benefits.
Holy shit.
And like food stamps and shit. She didn't fucking work. She could not hold a job down. So she barely paid any taxes. This hooker got $5,000 back.
Oh,
you know what she bought? Or know what she used that money on?
Hookers and blow?
No. Wheels and tires and rims for her not vehicle. A vehicle that was bought for her by someone else and was in someone else's name, but she was allowed to drive as long as she made payments on it. Instead of, I don't know, using said money for her kid or literally thousands of other things, she bought a lift kit, wheels, and tires.
Oh my God. What the fuck is wrong with people?
Right?
Oh. Yeah, but KJ, you fucking work. Don't bring that shit to me when you say I got X amount of dollars back in fucking whatever for tax return because of XYZ. Fuck, you work. If you work and you pay taxes, there is no issue with that. Right? I don't care if you work and pay taxes and then get a great refund. I don't give two shits. If you don't work and are not contributing to society, i.e. paying into the Social Security, paying into Medicare, and paying all this other shit that we all do as hardworking Americans, but yet you siphon off the system because of reasons, and then you go and blow that fucking money on fucking stupid shit, i.e. like Minx's example here, that's bad. And that's fucking terrible. So I don't care if you work hard and pay taxes. If you don't work hard and siphon off the system, get bent. Period. Damn it, KJ.
KJ actually stated that during that year when he got almost $6,000 back, he was just a student and not working. Dude, I need to do this whole not working thing, and then maybe I'll get back, money.
Apparently, not working is the way to fucking get ahead
right?
in the U.S.
Dude,
now.
Wait, where are these flowers coming from? I've been looking for these gay fucking flowers everywhere, and I haven't been able to find them in a long fucking time. Like those gay purple, like thankful flowers that like you can react with. I've been looking for those. And I keep seeing shit, and I'm like, where the fuck is that goddamn flower? I can't find it, and it bothers me. But it's break time.
Break time.
All right, you guys, we shall be back here in about 6 minutes. So hang tight, and we'll be right back for part 2 of Tied Up Tuesday.
Woo! Shots.
Noon. Gotta get it together, I gotta stay in tune. Seems time's against me, but I hate to rush. Gotta keep it between the lines until I hit the dust. Gotta buy some time. The key to freedom lies across the state line. It's a daily ritual, this game I play. In the life of a shadow man with a debt to pay. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again. It's a daily ritual, this game I play. In the life of a shadow man with a debt to pay. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again, driving on the road to nowhere. Just like this life that I lead, it might not take me anywhere. But I was born to travel along this lonely road to nowhere. Looks like this life that I lead, it might not take me anywhere. But I was born to travel along this lonely road to nowhere.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Fucking answer your phone, AK. God damn it, answer your phone.
I heard somebody talking about anal sex on the radio, so I figured I'd get my story. Give me a call back. Alright, bye.
Hello. I don't know what you're trying to do with all these British accents, but I'd really like it if you could call me back so I could read something for you. Bollocks. I just burnt my hair with my, rolled marijuana. Stupid strawberries and crumpets. I don't like it. Have a good day.
Hey baby, you gave me your number in the fucking bar. This is fucking Lewis. How you doing? I don't know why you ran off in such a rush. Yeah. I know you're digging my vibe, baby. Just give me a call back. You know the number.
Go fuck yourself, Bobby.
Hey, just want to talk about your guys' radio show and how awesome it is and the other guys sucked. Anyway, yeah, make America great again.
I don't know how to use this. Oh, velvet
Put the monkey down. Oh, God. Never mind. Hey, brother, we need to get your show nationwide on this Sirius radio or satellite or something. Kind of hard to watch it when it comes on this damn little cell phone. Let's see what we can do to get you nationwide. Love to see you. Love to hear you. Continue on.
You guys need more fucking lines if they're all busy.
What the fuck?
Get some more. Let me shit in your mouth.
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
Oh, that totally just snuck up on me. Hello, everybody. We're back. Oh, my God. Whoops. Shit.
You want to be timing these things.
Right. Fucking. Branko, I swear to God, I will block you out of my goddamn chats if you go against what I say again. I'm not joking around. Sorry. Not sorry. I had to fucking do that.
Gotcha.
So, anyways, what were you saying?
What was I saying?
Yeah, we were talking about what we were going to talk about on this second hour, and yeah.
Anyway.
Please proceed.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So the one thing I want to cover, obviously, it's it could affect it's going to affect some of the nation as well. Active duty, it'll affect a little bit possibly, and anybody who's a government employee is going to affect. But if you don't know or are not tracking nation, the government runs out of money at midnight on Friday the 22nd, right before Christmas. Isn't that fantastic? So the story I've got right now, it's been going back and forth. I've been this is important to me, and it's important to a lot of people. But so I've been trying to track the story. But the recent story I've got, and it's let's see here. It says Democrats are unlikely to force the DACA vote this week, probably averting the shutdown. So for those of you who are not aware, that this is something that the Democrats usually have been talking about wanting to tie to the coming budget to ensure that the DACA, the deferred action for, what the hell is it? Deferred action. Shit, I forget. But anyway, it's for anybody who was brought to the U.S. illegally as a minor, they're brought with their parents or guardians or whatever it was. Deferred action for childhood arrivals. That's what it is. So the article is Democrats are backing away from a pledge to force a vote this month over the fate of thousands of undocumented immigrants brought to this country as children, angering activists, but likely averting the threat of a government shutdown at a critical moment in spending negotiations with Republicans and President Trump. With a deadline of midnight Friday to pass spending legislation, dozens of Democrats had vowed to withhold support if Republicans refused to allow a vote on a measure known as the DREAM Act that would allow roughly 1.2 million immigrants to stay legally in the U.S. But a group of vulnerable Democratic senators facing re-election in conservative states next year aren't willing to go that far, meaning the party is unlikely to muster the votes to block the spending bill. Quote, "We've got to get it done, but I'm not drawing a line in the sand that it has to be this week versus 2 weeks from now," said Senator Claire McCaskill, a Democrat in Missouri, who faces re-election next year in a state that Trump won by more than 18 points. Other Democrats facing similar headwinds echoed that sentiment, including Senator Joe Manchin III, Democrat West Virginia, and Joe Donnelly, Democrat Indiana. Trump won those states by 42 and 19 percentage points, respectively. So it becomes it's almost a win for Republicans and President Trump that if the Democrats don't force this issue to be a part of the budget, then there's a good chance that the budget will pass. However, if they force this issue, if there's enough support for the Democrats to push this to be a part of the budget, then it's going to come to a head because Trump has said he will refuse to sign it if it's a part of the package. Because he's already given Congress the timeline by deferring it until March before any action would be taken against anybody who falls under the Dreamers Act, or also known as DACA. So it becomes a contentious point when the government's running out of money.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The story continues on. Obviously, everybody's chiming in about it. The current push for immigration legislation erupted in September after Trump vowed to end a program known as the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, instituted by former President Barack Obama via executive action and allowing some immigrants brought into the country as children to stay legally. At the time, Trump declared the program unconstitutional, and he challenged Congress by setting a March 5 deadline to pass legislation offering parallel protection to those provided under DACA. Schumer responded to that challenge by promising that Democrats will do everything we can to prevent President Trump's terribly wrong order from becoming reality. House Minority Leader Pelosi said in October, "We have to do it before Christmas. That's just the way it is." Well, here it is, days before Christmas. In fact, 6 days before Christmas, and there is nothing being done. But in the week since, both leaders have amended their wish list and are now also pushing to use a looming spending showdown to reauthorize the state's children's health insurance program and devote more federal funding to cash-strapped pensions and opioid abuse programs. Now, you being in the medical field, my question is, do you think that is something that should be tied to the budget?
I don't know. I know. I'm not sure because, yeah.
Do you think that crisis, the opioid crisis, because that's what, I remember a couple weeks back we talked about this, it being this big deal and everybody wanted to do something about it. Does it warrant either be tied to the current budget to find that funding, or does it need to be tackled on its own in a separate bill?
I think it should be a separate bill. I don't. Something else needs to be done.
Yeah. And I will flat out agree with you on that. I think it needs to be its own monies. Again, that falls in line with all the natural disaster relief that they're trying to get as well, and they want to tie that to the budget. I saw the number earlier today, something like $42 billion, $24 billion. It was the amount of money was unreal that they were trying to get in natural disaster relief for the hurricanes and all the wildfires.
I think when it comes to the opioid epidemic and natural disasters, those need to be fucking separate. Like,
so you don't think they're tied to the budget at all? Well, let me phrase. So they are, obviously they'll be put a part of the budget, and that's money they got to account for.
Yeah.
But it should not be tied to the actual passing of the budget to run the government.
No, not at all. Because hurricanes, wildfires, and freaking heroin overdoses have nothing to do with whether or not the federal government runs or not.
Now, I would totally agree with you on that.
Like, does it take away from the federal budget? Yes, it does, and I understand that. However, simply because there's a wildfire going on in California, that does not affect the federal government in any way. So I think that there needs to be separate bills as far as when it comes to allocating where the money goes, right? So you pass the budget, you get that fucking passed, and then you start with the whole delegation process.
Right. Well, here's the other thing about that is get the budget passed, right? That way the government can run.
Yeah.
And you can always find the funding, and I hate to say it this way, but the government will find a way to get the money to fund the disaster relief and the opioid crisis that they want to fight. Obviously, these are things that are high on the radar of everybody. Again, we talked about the opioid crisis several weeks back, and the natural disaster thing has to be taken, period.
Yeah.
I don't care what your take is on it and all this other garbage. Those people need help. Whether they're suffering from the fires in California, or they were in Houston or in Florida or anywhere other place that was hit by the hurricanes, or Puerto Rico, those people need help and they need that relief. Period. It shouldn't even be tied to it shouldn't be a pawn in the grander scheme of things, or this chess piece that they want to use to their advantage to say, oh, well, we'll pass it if you do X for us and allow this to be a part of the budget.
Mm-hmm.
Which is always what happens, is what everybody was afraid of the Democrats were going to do with the DACA, is that they were going to use this key piece saying, like, if this is not in here, we are not going to support this.
Right, which again, that needs to be some sort of like further down the line. Once we actually just get the base budget down, then you come in with paperwork and like movements to say, hey, I want to allocate X amount of dollars to DACA, and then go from there, right? And it shouldn't be, well, I'm not voting for it unless you throw in something for DACA in there. When again, the federal government does not run off of DACA.
Nope.
So
And you know, a great point, R.S. Alexander, and that's what happens, is that these little things the budget gets held hostage because of these little things, i.e. everybody wants their special little whatever worked into the budget. And you know what? Everybody's culpable in this, because what if the border wall that the POTUS wants is not included in the part of the budget? If that money's not in there, will he not sign it? Will he veto the budget at that point? Because remember, if he vetoes a bill, right, like the spending bill, and it goes back to Congress, Congress can overturn it, but they got to get 2/3 of both houses to override his veto. And let's face it, there's no way 2/3 of Congress is going to vote on anything in concurrence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, the budget's very contentious. Hopefully, we'll know more in the next 48 hours.
Right. It's going to be interesting.
Of that McHead. Yeah, it will be interesting to say the least.
Right.
So hopefully we'll have good news come Friday.
Yeah. Dude, hopefully we have good news come tomorrow.
Yeah, that would be great.
Right.
Oh. Let's see here. So
I know the defense bill passed. Right? The defense one?
I'll say what?
The defense bill.
Oh, the defense bill is passed.
Mm-hmm.
$700 billion.
To the Department of Defense.
Which
what?
Let's see here. No, I was trying to see if it was if I could bring that one up too. Authorization. Oh, there it is. That's 2017. Oh, there it is. Bam. Let's see if it's got the amount in here. I want to say it was $700 billion that was approved. So the NDAA authorizes a base defense budget of $632 billion for the Department of Defense. Let's see, a request of $8 billion for other defense activities. The bill also authorizes $60 billion for overseas contingency operations, i.e., the war on everything we're at war with, to the top line of $700 billion. So, which is nice, is that the defense bill is not tied to the budget. Because let's face it, if it were, we would never have any money for shit.
Yeah.
The government would be running out of money left and right. Because let's face it, the Defense Department spends a shit ton of money on everything. Oh. But that was passed. Let's see here. All right, so I got another one. I know ICE covered this last night a little bit because it was breaking news yesterday. A nation, if you are not tracking or not aware because you live under a rock and have no comms whatsoever, there was a serious train accident in Washington State near DuPont, which is basically right outside Joint Base Lewis McChord.
No, I thought it was south of that. I thought it's south of that, like by a bit.
Let's see here.
Like, I thought it was halfway between Seattle and Portland.
I didn't think it was that far south. I thought it was just outside DuPont. I'm trying to find the actual location here where it happened. Because the report's coming from DuPont based on the where they're reporting from.
Because, like, if it did happen around Lewis, Madigan would have gotten patients, which they didn't because I have friends who work there.
And
like,
yeah, see, now I'm not finding. All I'm saying is where it crosses over I-5, which is so I-5 is a major thoroughfare up and down the West Coast.
Yep.
Everybody knows that. And I do know it's looking at the detour and whatnot to go around it. The detour is quite extensive, having to come down basically into Olympia from the Tacoma Narrows Bridge over the island and back across here. Yeah, and all this train was hurtling at 80 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone Monday morning when it ran off the rails along a curve south of Seattle, sending some of the cars plummeting onto an interstate highway below. Denzar said, citing data from the locomotive's event recorder. The event recorder, same thing as the black box, guys.
So whoever was operating that train was not doing the right thing, considering they were going 50 miles an hour over the designated speed limit. So
Oh yeah, so there is a damaged Amtrak train car is lowered from an overpass at the scene of Monday's deadly train crash onto Interstate 5 Tuesday, December 19th, in DuPont, Washington, which is DuPont is just outside JBLM. Which is interesting that Madigan would have got patients and they did not, which I would find interesting as well that they didn't send anybody to Madigan.
Right, considering Madigan is a level 1.
Right, and it's right there outside the gate, basically.
Right, and it doesn't matter if you're military or not, because again, when it comes to trauma, we'll take anybody.
Yep.
So.
Because hospitals are supposed to function.
Right.
Nope.
Weird.
So investigators will talk to the engineer and other crew members and review the event data recorder from the lead locomotive as well as an identical device from the rear engine, which has already been studied. Investigators are also trying to get images from 2 onboard cameras that were damaged in the crash. There were 2 people in the cab of the train at the time of the crash, the engineer and an in-training conductor who familiarizing himself with the route. Denzar said a second conductor was in the passenger cabin at the time of the crash, which is also part of the job responsibility, she said. In previous wrecks, investigators looked at whether the engineer was distracted or incapacitated. It is standard procedure in a crash investigation to test the engineer for alcohol or drugs and check to determine whether he or she was using a cell phone, something that is prohibited while the train is running. It's on tracks. The engineer, whose name was not released, was bleeding from the head after the crash, and his eyes were swollen shut, according to radio transmissions from a crew member. The transmissions mentioned a second person in the front of the train who was also hurt. The train with 85 passengers and crew members was making the inaugural run along a fast new bypass route that was created by refurbishing freight tracks alongside Interstate 5. The 15-mile, $180.7 million project was aimed at speeding up service by bypassing a route with a number of curves, single-track tunnels, and freight traffic. Investigators were also looking into what training was required of the engineer and other crew members to operate on the new route, said Ted Turpin, the lead NTSB investigator of the crash. That includes assessing the training process and how much time the workers were required to spend on the trains before they shuttled passengers, he said. Under Amtrak policy, he couldn't run this train without being qualified and running this train previously, Turpin said to the engineers. So this brings back to the thing where, and you see it all the time, this goes back to distracted driving. It's basically what it is. And if he is, if he was on his cell phone or whatever, you know what, throw the fucking book at him and put him away.
Right. Well, distracted, but then also like impaired.
Well, if he's impaired, hook him up. He's done. There's no reason for this. There's not. Right? You have a job to do. Period. And everything that I've read is that there are plenty of warnings that this 30-mile-an-hour zone, which takes this curve, is
like approaching.
Yeah. So apparently there's a marker at 2 miles out, and then there's an additional marker at 1 mile out, and then there's more warnings and stuff that you were at this curve of where the max speed is 30 miles an hour.
Right. Slow down, motherfucker.
And it just blows my mind that you have a job to do, and it's to drive this steel sled on tracks with people on it, and you cannot even focus on that because your Facebook update or whatever the fuck it is cannot wait.
Dude, he had to post his epic selfie. Duh. He didn't get enough Instagram likes on his one selfie. He had to redo it. There's a whole song about this. Have you not heard that song? It's called Selfie.
I've not heard this song. Oh, there it is. So it's the and I think I saw it in the chat. So in 2015, an Amtrak train traveling twice the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit derailed along a sharp curve in Philly, killing 8 people. Investigators conclude the engineer was distracted by reports over the radio of another train getting hit by a rock. In September, a judge threw out charges of involuntary manslaughter and reckless endangerment against the engineer, saying the crash did not appear to rise to a crime. Prosecutors are trying to get the case reinstated. Amtrak agreed to pay $265 million to settle claims filed by the victims and their families. It has also installed positive train control on all its tracks between Boston and Washington. Positive train control is if a train does not respond to the warnings and or the information that they know isn't available, the positive train control takes over and starts to shut down or slow down the train. That's all it is. It is not a complete fail-safe, but it is secondary measures to help prevent a situation like the 2015 incident and the current incident that happened in Washington.
So the tracks up in Washington, do they not have this smart train thing?
They did not have smart train technology. No, they did not. Oh, and to make this story even better.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh yes, this is okay. Tinfoil hat time.
Oh yes. I need to get my aluminum foil. All right, continue.
2 weeks prior to this, the mayor of Lakewood said, and I'll try to find the exact quote quick, but warned that somebody was going to die on these tracks because there was not enough safety whatever done or enough study done for this route and what was going on. Literally 2 weeks before this accident happened.
Oh, that's not foreshadowing.
He said that. Yeah. So there's the big conspiracy theory, blah, 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 that he foreshadowed this or whatever. But he had been a staunch proponent of this since its inception, apparently. But for it to come out 2 weeks prior to this happening, tinfoil hat. And also, I know this got kicked around in the chat, I think, earlier today, is that Antifa.
Oh, I was actually just about to bring that up. That I saw something about like Antifa saying they were gonna lay shit across Amtrak tracks.
Yep. The one I saw was that they actually were doing concrete, pouring concrete onto the tracks, which would technically derail the train. Because it hit the hardened concrete and they would come off if the concrete was reinforced enough, it could lift the train off the tracks, i.e. the wheels would hit the concrete and become dislodged from the tracks. And Antifa claims they send out plenty of warnings saying that they've done this because their goal is to trains not harm people.
You would think though that they would want mass public transportation, considering that's a socialist thing. It's public transportation.
Yeah.
Awkward. We're gonna destroy the only cheap public transport there is, be in the name of socialism. What?
Right? Actually, traveling by rail is actually kind of expensive.
Is it? Because I know that there's a deal going on right now where you can go from San Diego up to Vancouver.
Not anymore.
Right. Well, not right now. But you could do it for $100.
Well, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all, right? And you stop in major cities and shit, and and the Pacific Coast is just gorgeous. I absolutely I've driven the PCH, and it takes forever. It's normally 6 hours between the Bay Area and LA. If you take I-5, it's 6 hours.
Okay.
If you take California Highway 1, which is the PCH, you double that time easily. It is a 12-hour journey, easily. But it's It's so pretty though. So yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I saw something. What did I read? I read it and I was like, "Oh, I got to talk about it tonight because I need to because I got to talk for 3 hours." So right? And I was sitting, oh my God, it's so bad. So I was so bored today until like 11. I did nothing for 6 hours today at work except sit there and watch my room to make sure nobody contaminated anything. Because my first patient canceled due to, a skin infection. And then, so then it was a wait of, just waiting on my second patient to get there. So what I went through my phone and I started off at 95% and it got down to 15% by the time my patient rolled into the room, which lets you know how much I was on my phone during that time. But I saw an article today about a BuzzFeed editor, and I get it, it's BuzzFeed, so there's fake news and then there's really fake news, and that's BuzzFeed. And how one of their editors, I can't remember which one it was, pretty much tweeted out that all she wants for Christmas is communism. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're just like, yeah, fuck it. We're just going to skip socialism altogether and go straight for communism. Right? And then...
there it is.
Oh, you found it?
2 days ago, that article hit.
Yeah. Okay, go.
All right, hold on. I'm pulling it up right now. Oh, and this is from The Wrap, so we'll see how this goes. A science editor at BuzzFeed UK raised a few eyebrows last week after some serious curious remarks about communism. Quote, "All I want for Christmas is full communism now," end quote. Editor Kelly Oakes tweeted before locking down her account after it was picked by right-wing media and the always ferocious James Woods.
Dude, I love James Woods. He's so hilarious. Are you okay?
I'm good. James Woods.
He is. He's fucking great.
The screenshots tell a story. Let's see here. So, her thing is all I want for Christmas. So her tweet is all I want for Christmas is full communism now. James Woods' response, hashtag BuzzFeed editor, enough said. A spokesperson for BuzzFeed declined to comment on the matter. Oakes, who does not report to the website's US-based science desk, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Critics pointed out that communism, as practiced by the Soviet Union, China, and North Korea, has led to the deaths of over 100 million people, according to the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation. It is not the first time BuzzFeed has gotten into hot water over their editorial staff tweeting their open sympathy towards communism. In November, BuzzFeed reporter Blake Montgomery blasted a White House proclamation memorializing victims of communism and tweeted out his belief that the term "victims of communism" was just dog whistle and a white nationalist talking point. The tweet was swiftly deleted, and Montgomery apologized. His tweet, "Victims of communism is a white nationalist talking point. Trump just made November 7th National Day for Victims of Communism." A reply to the tweet by John Levin, BuzzFeed reporter, tweet now deleted.
Right? Goddamn, again, I feel like a goddamn broken record with this. Communism, in theory, is awesome.
On paper, it looks great.
In theory. On paper, amazing. In practicality, it kills people. Millions, hundreds of millions of them. So, no.
my question would be, what is everybody's, and you see this with the generation, and you see all these people that, what is your fascination with communism?
I think it's the whole, well, you can't even say that America is a land of opportunity now because that's somehow racist and implying white privilege, because the only people, according to people like, this learned professors, apparently the only people who have any sort of opportunity in this country are white people from upper middle class and above neighborhoods, which that's not true. Like, that's simply not true. So I think this whole idea of communism coming about and why, like, this is such a great thing, is because communism, again, in theory, completely gets rid of class structure, like social class structure, in which everybody is, in theory, equal, right? But in human society, in all human society, you cannot have everyone equal to everyone else, because that's not how things get done. That's not how things work. There's always going to be someone in charge, you know? And there's always going to be someone providing a service to another person and not have that service reciprocated. There we go. Which is why, again, in practicality, communism does not work. It's not a thing. It turns into a dictatorship, which is, again, the complete opposite of communism. But that's what it fucking turns into. Looking at you, China and North Korea. But it's none of my business.
It's none of my business, Asian Cartman.
Right? The angry Asian Cartman. But no, like, I think that's why there's such an appeal for communism, is that, they put out there, like, everyone will be equal. Everyone gets treated the same. Everyone's equal. Everyone always has the same opportunities as everyone else. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter anything about, like, your moral fortitude or how your perseverance on accomplishing any of your goals. You're just automatically going to get it because, why put forth effort?
Right. And I hate to say it, but that's a lot of the mindset that's being taught to kids nowadays, is that, you don't have to work because, you're special or whatever, and it'll come to you. Right? Mm-hmm. Hard work is not rewarded anymore. Hard work is your white privilege, or however you want to word it now. Going back to that conversation about the frickin' University of Iowa, or the University of North Iowa, those two professors, right? 10 individuals, 10 anything does not a study make, right? Same thing. Right. Go out there and work hard and actually find your stats, find your points. Right. Make this work.
Like, if you're going to do a study on your students, do, I don't know, like 10% of your student body. Preferably more like, 40 to get, like, a better understanding. But, at least 10% of the student body, and not just 10 white students. Because, again, like you said, 10 students, a study does not make.
And that's also bias.
And extremely that racist.
It throws off your skew.
But, whatever. But it's extremely racist against non-white people, in that they are assuming non-white people are physically unable to hold are physically unable to hold a civil conversation to get their point across. That's what they're implying. So therefore, these professors obviously think that people of color are unable to perform a civil conversation with someone that they don't agree with on anything. Because somehow acting like a human being and not acting like a rabid dog is apparently only able to happen if you're white. according to these professors.
Right. And
so,
if you engage in that, then
Like,
apparently
and that-
you are racist and exerting your white privilege because you're having a civil conversation with
right?
other individuals.
But the professors saying this, they're not racist though. Right? Let's check this out. They're not the racist ones. Myself and Grey Cloud, because as you guys have seen, Grey Cloud is white. Us having a civil conversation, even though we may not agree with everything that the other person says, we are exemplifying our white privilege upon each other. So when that happens, riddle me this, Batman, who is in the wrong?
Apparently we still would be.
No, it's you because you're a man. Duh.
Oh yeah. So I'm always wrong apparently.
Duh. You've got a dick. So automatically you're wrong. You're white and you have a dick. So, dude, that sucks.
Apparently, yeah. I'm never going to be right now, so that sucks a lot.
Right? Don't tell the CEO.
2 plus 2 is 5.
Well, hell yeah, you got to carry the one.
Oh my god, it's so fucking hilarious. That meme. I'd be like, yeah, because you got to carry the 1.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you knew where that was coming from.
Oh my god, that's so fucking awesome.
I love that meme. It's my favorite one.
I'm just tired of arguing with people. Like, yeah.
Right? When you can't argue with stupid people anymore. 2 plus 2 is 5. Hell yeah, it is. Way to go.
That's so awesome.
Right? God damn. But no,
it's getting that bad, though.
What?
It's getting that bad.
No, it really is. And like I was, like I keep saying, I truly believe that I'm like, a menist. And I'm not a feminist. And I actually need to, probably advertise that some more on my Facebook profile so people don't just assume that I'm all for women's rights. No, I'm all for men's rights. And men should have equal rights to women. For example, did you know that there are only 2 battered men's shelters in the entire country? 2. I have no idea where they're located, but I know that there's only 2.
Wow. Well,
but domestic violence is 50-50.
An interesting article about that today too.
Do what?
I saw an article about that today too. Not necessarily the amount of shelters, but I think we can have a good conversation about this.
Ooh. Go on.
No, you finish first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but then, domestic violence statistics, it's 50-50 as far as who's the victim, right?
Right.
But yet there's battered women's shelters all the fuck over the place. But only 2 battered men's shelters. And like when men come forward and say like, oh, I'm a victim of domestic violence, number 1 response, man the fuck up. No, you're not. Or how the fuck are you going to let some chick beat on you?
What? Okay. So, and there it is. That drives me nuts. Okay. Everybody wants to say domestic violence and, these battered men shelter, whatever it is. They always view it as being physical.
Right. But it's not.
And
women are sneaky. We don't do that. Are there some women out there who will beat a motherfucker? Yeah, there are. Let's face it, there are. That being said, women are more emotional abusers and verbal abusers and mental abusers than men. Women know how to manipulate.
I would totally agree with that. And that's where I was going to go with my part of it, is that it happens all the time and you see it all the time. And one of the articles I caught a glimpse of today, right, is women who get involved, they're dating somebody or they're with somebody and they become the controlling, manipulative other half. Right? They are constantly blowing up the individual's phone. They're constantly questioning where he's going. They are constantly berating him either in public or in front of his friends or whatever it may be, to
mean, like,
ensure
oh,
that
you're
they
not a real
maintain
man.
control of said individual.
What's that term called? Like gaslighting? Something like that?
Yeah, I think that term would apply.
Yeah.
But it blows my mind, and it goes back to what you said. Everybody's all, oh, everybody just man the fuck up, just deal with it, whatever, blah blah blah.
Right?
Well, it's not.
There's no way she's really doing that. You're overreacting.
And that's what it becomes.
Bitches
And
be
then it becomes
crazy.
this self-fulfilling prophecy that you are really not worth anything. You are what she says because you can't stand up to her, or you just continue to take it or whatever, and you're not. So it becomes this. It becomes self-defeating, and you don't want to do anything about it, right? So there is no advocacy group for guys who get, emotionally beat the hell up by their ladies, or physically, beat down either because they have a bat or a 4-iron or a frying pan or whatever they can get their hands on, rolling pin.
I mean, there's that. There's knives in the kitchen too.
And exactly, when I was taking a couple classes, and seeing some of these photos of what possible abuse could look like, emotional abuse and physical, conveying that threatening message, i.e., a smashed out vehicle, slashed tires, furniture being cut up when the individual comes home. After being out late with either his friends or hell, even being late from work.
Right. Or
they can't do anything about it.
Or refusing to let him go do a hobby. Like say the dude is really into golf and enjoys going to play golf. And because he's dating your bitch ass, he is no longer allowed to go play golf. Because he knows if he does, his phone is going to be blowing up the entire time. And when he gets home, there's going to be a big fight.
There will be. And then they're, I say it, but a lot of times they feel stuck. Guys will feel stuck in that relationship because there's nowhere for them to go. One, they have nobody to turn to really because their friends won't believe them, like you were saying, and they'll get the typical response: just man up. It's not that big a deal. Put her in her place and all this other shit.
Right? You're the man. You wear the pants in the relationship. Reminder of that. It's not that easy.
Probably gonna sneak up behind you with that 4-iron you just brought home, inside the skull with it.
Right.
And I'll be facing. If you get hit with the 4-iron, you're probably going down for the count.
Well, I don't know. Like, I've never really hit anybody with a 4-iron except in Grand Theft Auto. And every person I've hit with it has been, dead. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen, though, if I actually did it in real life. Video game told me. Therefore, it's true.
Yeah, video games are real life.
They are.
Oh man, it's just, and it's sad that
and the fact though is that y'all men get fucking forgot. Like, let's face it. Like, are there a couple things where women get are forgotten about? Yeah, just one of the things that really comes to mind is think of veteran. What do you think? You don't really think, you think of a dude, right? You don't really think about the female veterans. There's no looking really at a female veteran and being like, oh yeah, you were a veteran. Unlike, guys, because guys get out, what do? They fucking grow out their hair and their fucking beard because no one's telling them that they have to get their hair cut or they have to shave their face. And it's really easy to tell, when guys are veterans. And, what do you a lot of marketing, when they market stuff for veterans, they put up pictures of dudes. So I get it, sometimes females get forgotten about. I understand that. However, men are also forgotten about. And what, like, again, big time is when it comes to any sort of domestic violence or even sexual assault or, you know, things along those lines. Men get forgotten about because, again, it's been drilled into us as a society that in our culture that that's a woman's problem when in fact it's, you know, a woman's and a man's problem. You know, like domestic violence is not privy to just one gender.
No, it goes both ways.
Yeah. So.
And what sucks is, so the way some of the laws are written in Colorado are if there is any type of altercation or a call for domestic violence, and there is any sign of physical altercation, okay? Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, man on woman where there's physical blows or anything like that, but anything in the house, i.e., the example I can use, and if I remember correctly, is Patrick Waugh got into a domestic violence spat with his wife and tore a door off its hinges. He was arrested and charged with domestic violence. He never struck her. But because he tore the door off the hinges, that is a physically violent move in a domestic violence setting, and was therefore removed and arrested.
Right? And that's another thing is that, you know, let's face it, majority of the time when, you know, cops go to a domestic violence scene, they're looking at the guy as being the perpetrator.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it not, and so they kind of, you know, I don't want to, you know, make it seem as though, like, you know, cops are out there judging, like, before they get to a call, like, oh, it's probably a dude beating on his wife again. But, you know, it's, they might, I don't know. But it's almost like it's an automatic guilt on the men. When they could have been the ones making the call, right? But then another thing, though, is that it's always the guy who has to, if the cops say, hey, one of you guys needs to fucking go somewhere for the night for a cool down period, they almost always, like, look at the guys and say, you know, like, I know I'm saying, like, one of you, but it's really going to be you, dude. You know, like, so why is it that the guy always has to be the one to leave the property? For the cool down period. Like, why? Because
that's the way the law is written, and that's the way the laws are biased. Right. So I found the article. It's from October 23rd, 2000. Patrick Waugh was arrested in Greenwood Village, Colorado, early yesterday on an investigation of domestic violence charges, days after he set a career record for victories by an NHL goalie. Excuse me. Waugh was released on $750 bail. The Colorado Avalanche goaltender had also been held on criminal mischief charges that said Sheriff's Sergeant Steve Keller. Officers responded to a 911 hang-up call early yesterday at Waugh's residence. Police said in a news release, the officer spoke with Waugh and his wife and were told there had been an argument, police said. Police said there was physical damage done to the home, and as a result of their findings, Waugh was taken into custody. A police department dispatcher said Waugh had been taken to Arapahoe County Jail. She would not say whether anyone had been injured. The Avalanche issued a statement Sunday evening and acknowledged the incident involving Patrick Waugh, but declined to comment until the end of the investigation. Let's see if I can find more updated stuff with the charges and whatnot of what happened. Wow, tweets back in 2000. Wow.
Twitter was around then?
Apparently so. I'm trying to see if there's any further details on what actually went down on it. No, I can't find it right now. But yeah, so all they said was physical damage to the home. Again, the one story I remember hearing when this happened when I was younger is that he tore a door off its hinges. So,
but break time.
Break time.
Break time. All right, you guys, we shall be back here in a couple minutes. So continue to hang out with us, and we shall be, I fucking already said that. God damn it. Yeah. I'm tired. We'll be right back.
Shots.
Just walking on shells, this feeling that love conquers everything else until you reach the point in mind. There was a failure to communicate, so set to leave but we were forced to wait. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end it's over, I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. My only demon, my only regret is that I left you with scars so that you'll never forget. Sick of forgiving my mistakes and my faults. Shattered your glass heart to millions when I ripped it apart. There's nothing left. Love is gone. So there was a failure to communicate, so set to leave but we were forced to wait. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end it's over, I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. Said we had to relate. At the end it's over, I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. There was a failure to communicate, so set to leave but we were forced to wait. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end it's over, I'm finally sober.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
everybody. Welcome back to part 3 of Tied Up Tuesday. I'm currently eating deer jerky that one of my buddies sent me, and it's really good. So Gray Cloud's going to start this segment off. It's so good, though.
It better be delicious. That's all I'm going to say.
I love deer jerky. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Bambi. But Bambi tastes so good.
Bambi tastes so delicious.
Right.
It's fun. It's
yeah, Ross, you got it. Saving a Hero. It's so good.
All right.
Thanks, Pip.
So going back to the story earlier about the train, there's kind of a feel good to it. And that's a soldier from JBLM, Joint Base Lewis McChord, jumped out to help rescue passengers. He was literally there when it went down. No pun intended. DuPont, Washington. A soldier from Joint Base Lewis McChord says he saw the Amtrak train plunge from the overpass and jumped into action to help save people trapped inside. Quote, I saw many people that were just paralyzed with fear, and I don't blame them at all. I mean, it was kind of a hard situation to watch unfold. Second Lieutenant Robert McCoy says he hit the brakes on his pickup truck just in time. The train is going south, and I'm just kind of driving. I hear a loud noise, and I look up and see the train, and it hits the concrete walls on the side. And when it hits the walls kind of explode, and the train just falls off. I see the train fall, and it kind of falls on itself, and it hits 3 vehicles that were in front of me: a semi, an F-150, and a Kia Soul.
The Kia is gone.
Oh yeah, the Kia is probably done for. The soldier serves in the Army's medical field. How is that for irony?
Hell yeah! Medcom!
Something. Yep. So he continues with his part of it. I remember I had a tourniquet and a CPR mask in my truck, and I grabbed those and I took off towards the accident. There were individuals who had been ejected from the train onto the pavement, and so my first initial thought was, I don't know how to stabilize this. If this train continues to fall, it's going to fall on these individuals. McCoy said he carried many of the ejected passengers out of the road to safety and then turned his attention to the people trapped inside the dangling train car. I heard people in there asking for help and stuff. McCoy said there were people yelling, and there was people looking for each other, looking for loved ones, end quote. McCoy said he and another volunteer climbed on top of the damaged semi and then onto the suspended rail car. Hold on. He climbed on top of the semi and onto a suspended rail car, dangling from the tracks. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the epitome of a United States service member.
Yes.
You talk about selfless service. Putting the need of those above your own. Right there. That is the epitome right there. An unstable dangling rail car. He's like, fuck it, we gotta go. Inside, he said he found 20 to 30 passengers, including a family whose grandmother was partially dangling outside the train car.
Awkward.
Quote, she was kind of at the end here, dangling out, but another down rail car was right here. Her daughter kind of pulled her backwards, and I just reached under her and picked her up and put her down on some form of safe structure. Throughout his efforts, McCoy took these photos from inside the teetering rail car. I couldn't afford to be scared. I couldn't afford to be shocked. I had to do what I'm called to do and focus and channel that and help these people around me to get to safety as best as possible.
Wait. I have an issue with what you just said, or with what he said. So he didn't have time to think about really anything except getting these people out, right? Except for taking pictures of everything to document what he did. Hold on, I'll save you guys in a second. Selfie.
Selfie time.
Right? Yeah. Let me take a selfie. Right? Like,
And here's, I got it. Hopefully he took the selfies or whatever photos it was after he had helped all these people.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, you know. But this, like, do I understand the whole documentation process? Yes, I do. Because again, like, if his unit is gonna put him in for anything, like, they're gonna need documentation, right? And I get it. So you gotta photograph everything. But
there's only one thing that this is deserving of, and that's the soldier's medal.
Yeah.
Period. If he does not get the soldier's medal, I will write. I will write to many people.
There's a good chance that he won't, considering he himself was not in any danger.
I'm sorry, climbing on top of a semi-truck onto an unstable rail car to rescue people.
You don't know if he had his PT belt or not, all right? Big difference if he had it versus if he didn't have it. But no, because I've actually, working in the orderly room, during my last, 2 years in the Army, the criteria, like the stupid bullshit criteria to be eligible for the soldier's medal is ridiculous. And I know firsthand because, so when I was in, I never got married while I was in the Army. I didn't have any kids. I went a decade in military service and never got knocked up or married. I deserve a goddamn medal for that. 1, that's besides the point. 2, so I was highly active with the BOSS program, right? And when I was at Fort Irwin, I was actually the installation BOSS vice president, on top of being my specific unit's BOSS representative. Sorry. Well, we did a BOSS trip to Lake Havasu. And one of the soldiers who went ended up getting ran over by a boat and chopped up by a propeller pretty badly. Like, he had to go into emergency surgery. Well, luckily, I wasn't around when this happened, but luckily one of the people who went on this BOSS trip was a major who was a nurse, and she was right there on it, applying pressure, applying a tourniquet, applying a dressing, getting him to where he could make it to shore, to where an ambulance or, life flight could then take him to the nearest trauma hospital. And myself and a couple other people who were on the BOSS trip wanted to put her in for the soldier's medal because, she went above and beyond what was required. She was on a fucking, pass. She just happened to be there and could take care of him. But because she herself was not under any sort of life-threatening situation, she was not qualified for the soldier's medal.
Right. And that's in AR 600-8-22 paragraph 3-14.
So,
quote, the performance must have involved personal hazard or danger and the voluntary risk of life under conditions not involving conflict with an armed enemy. Awards will not be made solely on the basis of having saved a life.
Yep. So that's where they get you, is that they have to say he risked his own life to save others. And did he? He went running around on a fucking freeway.
Unstable train.
Granted, the freeway was at a standstill. Still, he was running around on it. But then again, he did, and I understand what you're saying as far as him climbing into a dangling train car trying to get people to safety. So it's going to be up to the awards board whether or not that qualifies as putting himself in life-threatening danger or not. Definitely, was there danger in it? Yeah, no, absolutely. Could it have resulted in severe injury? Yes. Death? That's where they're going to have that's where, no, and then, that's what I'm thinking of, is, that's where they're going to have the debate on whether, and, in the awards board, that's where the debate is going to be on whether or not his actions were in the face of life-threatening danger.
I'm sorry, if a train car falls on you, you're probably not surviving.
But he was on top of the train car.
Doesn't mean he couldn't fall beneath it as it gave way.
No, and so but that's the debate they're gonna have. So.
No, I do understand what you're saying about that, because it could, and that's, unfortunately, that's the way the system is. And there will be those individuals who look at it that way.
Yeah.
Was he really in danger just climbing around on a dangling train car?
Right?
I would vote yes.
Did he have his reflective belt on? Important questions like that. Was he wearing all of his PPE? Where were his gloves? Did he have ear pro in? Eye pro? We don't know.
Oh my God. So yeah, so it was kudos to this lieutenant for putting himself above everybody else.
Right.
So I have another interesting article.
Go on.
Continue to eat your jerky.
Oh no, I ate it all. It's gone. Pip, the teriyaki is gone. It was really good.
Let's see here.
On to the honey bourbon.
Army struggles with the complexities of prosecuting a retired general accused of rape.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we're going to get into this one. This is a very interesting story. A military court is grappling with the complications of trying a retired Army general on multiple rape charges decades after the alleged assaults were said to have occurred. Where have we heard this name before?
Oh, goody. Go on.
Retired Major General James J. Oh, I'm going to slaughter this. Grazioplini appeared Tuesday at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, for his first hearing following an Army general's decision last month to send the case to court-martial. We'll just call him General G. 68 is accused of repeatedly raping a young girl between 1983 and 1989.
Good God, 6 years of this?
6 years of this, and almost 30 years ago. From the first incident, it's over 30 years
ago.
Yeah. The allegations have put the Army in highly unusual territory. The pending trial will mark one of only a few cases since World War II in which a general officer has been prosecuted in open court. General G was a major serving at Fort Leavenworth in Kansas when the alleged rapes began, according to court documents. He has not entered a plea. Among the issues the Army faces is how to apply the statute of limitations on the alleged crimes and how to address the lack of documentation. The accusations first came to the Army's attention in 2015 after the alleged victim, now 46, reported them and sat for an interview with investigators.
Wait. If she's 46 now.
Subtract 30.
That makes her a minor.
Makes her a teenager. 16.
Yeah, again, that makes her a minor when this started.
Ooh, actually, holy shit. 83. That makes her 13?
Yes, that makes her a minor.
Wow.
When the alleged assaults began.
Yeah, in 83.
And continued until she was of age. However, it does not take away the fact that this potentially happened and started while she was a minor.
Right.
Now, that being said.
Okay. The Washington Post does not identify the victims of alleged sexual assaults. Army Colonel Daniel Brookhart, a military judge, heard arguments Tuesday about whether all 6 counts of rape brought by the Army should be considered given the time that has elapsed. Congress imposed new statute of limitations on rape charges in the military in November of 1986, saying that any offense punishable by death, including rape, may be tried and punished at any time without limitation. The allegations against General G straddle the passage of that legislation.
So technically, anything before 1986, like if again, because innocent until proven guilty, right?
Yes.
Allegedly. So if he had done this, anything before November 1986, statute of limitations have passed.
Right.
Now that does leave open 2 years and a month of assault that can be charged on him.
So that's the next paragraph. Lieutenant Colonel Carl Brewer, an Army prosecutor, argued that all 6 counts are relevant and that it was Congress's intent to include crimes that occurred both before and after the passage of the legislation. An attorney for General G, Major Kevin Adams, said lawmakers' intent isn't clear.
I was gonna say, when it comes to laws, if it is not written down, then you can always imply intent with whatever you want.
Right, and that's what the courts are for, is to interpret law.
Right, but not to interpret the intent of the law. As far as whether or not when it comes to this, as far as whether or not, the law was, the intent of the law was to, also include those from before 1986. Well, unless it specifically states in the law that this also affects anything preceding this being a thing,
right?
Defense can always be like, that doesn't say shit in here about anything that happened before November 1986.
Right.
So, loopholes.
Exactly. It continues. We're stuck with what Congress did, and what Congress did was say on or after, Brookhart said, referring to the date the law was passed. General G's defense also argued that given the amount of time that has passed, it will be difficult to hold a fair trial. Brookhart did not signal agreement, but he did approve having a defense investigator spend 4 weeks searching for potential documents or witnesses. As a retired officer, General G remains subject to the rules guiding military law known as the Uniform Code of Military Justice. It is not clear why the Army elected to prosecute the case rather than forward it to the civilian court, but at least some of the alleged attacks occurred on a military installation. Well, Jesus God. Again, 2 + 2 is 5. If it happened on a military installation and he was an active duty service member, the Army has jurisdiction. It doesn't get much easier than that.
No.
It really doesn't.
Not at all.
So the story continues. The alleged victim appeared in court Tuesday sitting behind the prosecution. She has testified previously that she has vague memories of being touched inappropriately as a young child in the 70s, and that the abuse graduated to include rape and occurred several times per week as she got older, according to court documents. The alleged victim also has testified that General G has had a volcanic temper that made it difficult for her to speak up and stop him. She began telling others about the alleged abuse after she went to college, she said. General G sat in court Tuesday in a dark suit, close-cropped white hair and glasses, and occasionally took notes. He rolled a small briefcase on wheels out of the courthouse after the proceedings ended for that day. Brookhart said that it has been determined that he will not be wearing a uniform for the trial. Craig Whitlock contributed the report.
And this is what I have an issue with when it comes to victims of assault or rape, is that if you don't immediately report it, you lose all evidence, all physical evidence that anything was done to you, which then turns it into a he said, she said type of thing.
Right.
Which is why it's so important for victims of rape and or sexual assault. You need to make up in your mind within the first couple hours, if not minutes after this happens to you. You need to make up your mind whether or not you're going to press charges, whether or not you're going to file a report, because that physical evidence is what's going to get him, not just a he said, she said story. Those normally get thrown out or dismissed or proved or he gets off. So again, waiting months, years, decades to come forward and try to press charges against your attacker, it's not feasible. There is no physical evidence anymore of what this person did to you. And the violation that they did to your body, not just, your mind and your spirit, but, and it's so fucking important. That's why I know I come off as a total cunt when I'm not sympathetic towards victims who wait X amount of time to come forward. It's because I know that the way the system is to process rape trials, it's already hard enough to get a conviction, like a guilty conviction. It's already fucking hard enough to get that. But then you're going to wait to where there's no physical evidence
to support the claim.
Yeah, you're fucked. And so that's why it's so fucking important. If that does happen to you, male, female, whatever, you need to decide within the first couple minutes to a couple hours afterwards if you're going to go file a claim or file a report or press charges. That way you can get all that physical evidence collected and processed, so that way when you do go to court, you've got an ironclad case to where there is no doubt, because that's all it takes is just doubt in one person's mind on that jury.
Yep, and it's over.
That's it, and that's fucking over.
And Minx, I want to back your point on that and how important that evidence is. And even if, everybody's had those soldiers, and everybody's all I want to do is support those soldiers that need that support. Here's the thing about it, though: at least go get the evidence collected.
Right. Even if you don't want to press charges, go to the hospital, get that rape kit done. That way, that physical evidence is there. And it's saved, and
it's there,
yeah.
Just like you said.
But waiting and not getting that rape kit done, and I understand the dilemma of getting a rape kit, because again, that's going to be the second time within a matter of hours where you are not in control of your own body,
right?
Where you are being poked and prodded, and your body is being violated. I get that. I understand that. However, if you want to put your attacker away, you need to really just grit and bear it.
Yep.
So, anyways.
I know Ice brought this up last week. I brought it up a little bit, and I think we talked about it 2 or 3 weeks ago about this. With all these, you started seeing the cascading effect of all these allegations coming out with all these individuals. And I remember saying on here, how long is it before we see it with higher ranking officials in the military? Yeah. And lo and behold, we now have our first one.
Right.
Well, I mean, 2-star general.
Well, I mean, and they've already done a purge, if you will. They've already done sort of like a witch hunt of these higher ups who have either committed their sexual assaults or have swept them under the rug and knew what was going on, but they're like, we're not really gonna deal with it. The military really has done a whole purge on this. It happened in 2014.
Right. The CGI Fellender at the time at my duty station fell into that. He was part of the, not necessarily the attack portion, but he kind of let it slide by the wayside to, I don't want to say protect some individuals he knew. However, that's what it came to, and that's where it looked like, is that he was just sweeping it aside, saying this is not a big deal.
Yeah.
And that really blew my mind that was happening at that level.
Yeah.
Right. And then all these allegations started coming out several weeks ago, and it just started cascading down, throughout industry and throughout society, where these individuals were having these allegations brought forward. And all I could think was, well, it's going to happen in the military. And you're right. They did do a purge. They did start digging through files back in the 13-14 era and started putting these individuals out. However, there are still probably plenty of individuals that are in that have known how to sidestep those mines, and they know how to fucking look for that shit. And it's going to start coming to light more and more. And I hope, and I don't want to say wish, but that's what I feel. And I wish that they find these individuals and put them to the screws. But I want to emphasize your point, and you drove it home. Come forward right away. Find these individuals, these predatory individuals, and put them the fuck out from a military standpoint.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
So I know you and I were just on like our little soapbox right there. But Pip sent me a sweet article. So Florida attorney has been visiting a jail in Clearwater to make porn with inmates.
What?
And I'm gonna butcher this, but it's like pineapple. I don't know. Deputies in some random fucking Florida county that starts with a P, wherever Clearwater is, I don't know. Saying an attorney was caught with his pants down, literally, while planning to record himself having sex with an inmate as part of a project to make a video called "Girls in Jail."
Hold on. Girls in jail?
Like, y'all heard of Girls Gone Wild. This is Girls Gone Too Wild.
No shit, that's the first thought that came to my mind. You said it was, is this a new take on Girls Gone Wild? Because let's face it, it'll sell.
Girls Gone Too Wild. Girls Gone Caught. Girls in Jail. That's what it is.
Awesome.
So according to the sheriff's office, detectives received a tip last month that Andrew Spark was paying female inmates for sexual acts at some, again, random Florida town that starts with a P, county jail in Clearwater. They say Shauna Bazzelli, I don't know, 25-year-old inmate, claimed Spark visited her in jail even though he is not her attorney. She says Spark offered to put money in her commissary account in exchange for oral sex, and bragged about meeting another inmate earlier that day. Baselli declined the alleged offer, but detectives later confirmed that Spark met privately with 28-year-old inmate Antoinette, it looks like Napoleon, but it's not, that same day. After investigating, deputies say the two actually had sex inside of this jail at least 6 times between June 2017 and December 2017.
Okay, so here's my thing on it. Other than paying them for it, right? Because that can be considered prostitution.
Right? Well, no, it's instructional videos. How to pick up inmates.
How to pick up inmates?
Yes. Oh my God. Well, there's instructional videos out there for, like how to pick up the plumber, how to pick up the pizza guy, how to pick up your mom, how to pick up your brother. Why not add inmate in there as well?
God, that's awesome.
I broke Gray Cloud. Oh my God, are you okay?
I think so. You had me at commissary account.
Oh my God, you sound like a parrot.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, man.
Fucking Christopher, it's not prostitution if you give the money in a birthday card.
Maybe the general should have thought of that.
Right?
Oh, was that
Right?
allowed? I'm sorry.
Spencer, there is no how-to video on how to pick up minks. Sorry. That has not happened.
Alan Holmes, gross but consensual. He's got a point. I mean, technically it's consensual. But my question would be, is there a rule or law that says you can't have sex while in jail? That would be the argument, right?
It depends if they allowed conjugal visits or not. Some places don't. So we don't know. But yeah, so the sheriff named Bob Gliarty, I don't know, said Monday, I suck at names, I swear to God, that Spark would begin his, quote, interview, unquote, by filming Napoleon in her jail uniform and ask her to narrate sexual fantasies before filming her performing sexual acts. When they got word that Spark was scheduled to arrive at this county jail with, again, some random P town in Clearwater to meet with Napoleon on Sunday, detectives say they entered the attorney visitation room and caught him with Napoleon just as the two were about to begin a sexual act. So literally his pants were down. Spark's penis was, quote, fully exposed when detectives entered the room.
Caught you red-handed, perhaps?
Right. No. Spark was charged with exposure of sexual organs. Oh my God. Great clap.
Oh my God, what a charge.
Introduction slash possession of contraband into a county detention facility, and soliciting for prostitution. Deputies say
what contraband?
Probably his dick. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm not on video tonight now.
Oh my God.
Oh. That's good. Contraband.
I don't know. John Owl says you need to get laid. Casey says pay by inch would be so disappointing. Great Cloud. Where are you? Is he? Hello? Great Cloud. Are you alive still? Oh, nope. He dropped. Bye, Great Cloud. Yeah, so that's interesting. Way to go, dude. Apparently Attorney Spark requested an attorney, so there's that. Oh, Great Cloud just lost everything. I know Flash wanted to call in. So we'll see. Something happened today on social media. So y'all know that Flash is our resident social media master and our PAO, right? Well, something happened on the interwebs today in regarding one, how do I put this? YouTube famous veteran. And I know he wanted to call in, so I need to see if he's actually gonna. Gray is looking up inmates' websites. But yeah, so anyway, so the incident is that someone by the name of John Burke posted something on Facebook regarding how people need to like not say his name, or I'm not really sure what, happened in regards to that. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this on what he said. I gotta find it. Fucking, it's everywhere. Nope, that's not it. Wait for it. Damn, I can't find it now. So we are having lawyer porn now, right? Yes, Spencer, that John person. Oh, hey, look, he's back. Wait. Hello.
Hi. Apparently,
Where did you go?
Apparently, my interwebs did not find me very hilarious. It died on me.
Right. Oh my god.
Yep. So what I missed for the last 2 minutes?
Well, I'm trying to find where the fuck this one got a picture of. Oh yeah, here we go. John Burke put out today. Yesterday. Please do not use my name as a means of getting backing for your organization. If I haven't spoken with you directly, you do not, all caps, he's yelling, he's mad, have my support. If I hear my name being used on a radio show, podcast, etc., and it wasn't cleared by me, I will publicly denounce you and your organization. I don't give a shit how Facebook famous you think you are.
I think we're pretty Facebook famous.
Right? Oh, John Burke is mad.
You're not my supervisor.
Right? You're not my supervisor. Last time I checked, you're not part of this organization. So apparently.
What are you going to do? Denounce us in one of your car video rants?
Right? Oh, no. Not your screaming car rant. Whatever shall we do?
I'm so afraid.
God, you're such a douchebag. Honestly, how self-entitled do you have to be like, don't use my name? Fuck you. First Amendment, bitch. Motherfucker.
Oh, that's good. Whew.
Spanky's doing autistic screeching.
I wonder, is that her like screaming Brooke, 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 buy my t-shirt, Brooke, Brooke, Brooke?
Dude, probably, right? Yeah, buy my t-shirt. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brooke, 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 Brooke.
I will denounce you on the web.
I will denounce you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're okay.
Right. We've gotten this far without your endorsement. We're gonna be just fine.
We have podcasts of him. Fucking nice. Frag out.
Frag out.
Frag out.
But no, honestly, how fucking self-entitled do you have to be to where you're like, don't say my name on your radio show? Oh, podcast.
Nope.
Shit.
Podcast.
I mean, I didn't tag him in the show description.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Holy shit.
Burk, 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 burk. I said your fucking name.
That's awesome.
But yeah. I'm totally burking this up, Minx.
Oh,
but
goodness
no,
gracious.
like honestly, like apparently, what was it? Stripes.com must have mentioned his name somehow. Then he was not okay. He was not okay with this. Oh no, sorry. First Stripe, which
First Stripe.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. But apparently,
we can find.
Apparently, they apologized, and he's like, "That's all I asked for." Moving on. No need to be a douche. God damn, dude. Like, dude. Oh, and then, like, between him. God, do I say their names?
Wait.
Yusha. And then that fucking screaming dude from 9line.
Screaming dude from 9line.
Good God. Like, honestly, is that all it takes to become, like, Facebook famous these days? Is just, I'm going to scream into the goddamn camera as I'm in my car and cut angles here, cut scene there. Yeah.
But you've seen it, obviously, because that, to me, that's what everybody knows, right? Is the car rant,
right? Like, oh,
and everybody
okay, so
going
you've
off
seen
and
the video.
Whatever.
Like, I don't know. Like, I understand. I get it. It's racist now, and it implies like class, social structure. And, hold on, I am Burke, Groot's voice. But no, you know, like, I get it. It implies class structure and racism, and I'm throwing out my fucking white privilege. And, like, what happened to having, I don't know, a civil YouTube video where you're not screaming at the people listening, or you're not belittling a community you say you vouch for?
Right.
Maybe.
And that's the thing, is that, and that's what it should be. Like, you obviously you have a valid point, or whatever it is you want to bring up. There is no need to scream into the camera about it. There is no there is no need to scream your audio or try to be this big individual, and be something that you're not.
Yeah.
Just have a general conversation to your audience, and they'll respond. And that's what I can get about it. But
oh, Spencer apparently tried to call in. Spencer, I'm so sorry I missed your call. Did you leave a good voicemail? I'll put it on the rotation. True story. So, like, during the first break, right, you hear all those voicemails. Those are calls that we have literally actually gotten from people. So if you guys want to make the rotation, like, just get hammered drunk and then call the Skype line, or I should say our phone number, and then you can be on our voicemail rotation. Ta-da!
oh, he said he's going to do it. He's going to leave a voicemail.
Yes.
Wait, is our mailbox full?
No.
Okay, that's good.
No, it is not. We check it every day. And we thoroughly enjoy our voicemails. So, no mail for you.
Kaz has got a good point. And I feel that that could be a lot of issues with shows such as the aforementioned Burke.
Burke. God, he sounds. He's a chicken.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
The flying chicken from Zelda?
No. Like the rah one that, like, or the I can't do the right noise. But that, like, the squeaky chicken.
The squeaky chicken.
Yes.
But no, so Kaz has got a good point. is that nobody wants to listen to a show or tune into something where they feel like they're being lectured
Right?
by somebody from a camera, nonetheless. And that would be my problem with it. Is like you turn in, you want to listen to somebody rant and rave and all this other shit or whatever. That's great. But if you feel like you're being lectured from somebody who isn't even being personable with you, then why would you tune into that?
But Casey, that was my like random noise that I assigned to really anything that I don't know what noise they actually make. Like, okay, so today where I live, right? Well, yesterday and today, right? There's a lot of like really dense fog driving to and home from work. And like dense to where it would have been used in a trailer of a scary movie that I wouldn't have seen because I hate scary movies. But, you know, like I was driving and I'm like, God, the only thing that's really missing now is like some strange creature to come out the fog and be like, and
like a raptor?
Yeah, we don't know. Just something like, you know, like Stranger Things, like that big black thing that's like, but, you know, I was like, hey, I've seen a trailer about this. I'm not stopping my car. So.
I'm going to run anything off the road to get home to safety.
Right? Hell yeah. Once I get to my house, it's safe, right? And then same at work. Like once I get to the parking lot or my driveway, it's safe. Like it's a safe zone. You can't touch me.
You have to be inside.
That's how, no, just even the vicinity.
Parking lots, no. Parking lots are fair game. Look at the rules of scary movies. Parking lots are fair game.
Fuck your scary movie. I substitute my reality for that reality.
Alrighty then.
Because it's it's mine. All right. So housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Do you want to go through the show lineup?
I can do the show lineup tonight.
Awesome.
Yes, because I've been working on this because I didn't do it last week.
I know.
It was awesome.
Did you fuck it up?
No, I did not. Although I did get one comment in there that said I have to slow down and I take a breath because I was reading too fast apparently.
You mean like what I told you 2 weeks ago?
I don't recall this.
This never happened.
This has never happened before, ever. All right, Nation. So as you know, we have a show 6 nights a week. We'll start the lineup with tonight. It's Tied Up Tuesdays with myself and my the awesome host Minx.
Hey!
Are here from 20 to 2300. Wednesday, there is no show. The rumor is that's GTA night for us. The rumor is. Thursday night is Sergeant Times with Ice, Mike Golf, and Doc Madness, and other guys from the main page. So tune into that. They're always talking about things that are all things military and stuff that are affecting our active duty forces. Friday is Friday Night Freedom with Minx again and Pookie. Then we roll into Saturday, and it's Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy and Pookie again. Sunday, we have the Green Room with Cause, Charlie, and Jason, and they are talking things all 420 friendly. And they have a lot of good information on that and also how that affects our veteran community. Monday is the Monday edition with Ice, and he's usually talking current events and whatnot, and then it rolls right back into us again on Tuesday. All our shows start at 2000 and go to 2300. So tune in. So for upcoming guests, though, our next guest is on the 21st of December. That's this Thursday, and it's Christopher Beatty from Semper K9. Christopher Beatty served 6 overseas deployments to include 4 combat deployments in the Middle East. While deployed, he used dogs to search for enemy bombs and other explosives. When he returned home, he faced bouts of post-traumatic stress disorder, but Beatty has no regrets. The decision he made to serve led to what he believes is his true calling as Semper K9 assistance dogs. Their mission is to enhance the quality of life for wounded, critically ill, and injured members of the U.S. Armed Forces and their families by providing them assistance dogs. Using rescued and donated dogs, they provide service dogs for psychiatric alert and mobility challenges free of charge to wounded service members. So tune in Thursday night to Sergeant's Time to listen to our guests there. Our next guest would be on Friday the 22nd, and it's Tex from Rugged Saints Outdoors. Tex will be on to talk about how Rugged Saints Outdoors promotes healing and wellness for disabled veterans by providing them with fantastic opportunities for special hunting trips and fishing trips. I will definitely be tuning in on Friday to your show, Minx.
Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, I know him, like, personally.
Yeah, that hunting and again, not to segue too much, but that's going to be a special connection for a lot of vets. So guys, turn into that show with Minx and Tex from Rugged Saints Outdoors. And then rolling into next Tuesday, we have a guest next week.
We do.
Brittany Kennard. Brittany, who is a veteran that was injured in Iraq, will be on to talk about the SD Gunner Fund and what they do for veterans and disabled children. The SD Gunner Fund was created to assist veterans and disabled children with financial expenses of owning much-needed service animals. Service animals required for a variety of necessary items in order to perform their service. Those items can include, but are not limited to, vests, custom harnesses, other assistance items, veterinarian visits, and more. So, Nation, that's our lineup. Those are upcoming guests for the week projected out. So be sure to turn in every night. We have a show at 2000, and that's Eastern time.
I give you an A- B+. You forgot a show.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot Jose's Taco Truck. Oh, I can't believe it. KJ, please forgive me. Yes. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have Jose's Taco Truck, hosted by KJ. Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon.
Correct.
All right, there we go.
Dude, good job.
Thank you.
That was awesome. You guys, thank you so much for joining us all night tonight. That was amazing. Freaking a lot of good discussion.
I think so. It was a good show and a lot of valid points brought up tonight.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about tying me up right now in the chat room.
In
the chat. You guys don't know, and I know that's all. I can't fucking lie. Shit. All right, you guys. Have a great rest of your week. Tune in Thursday. So yeah, our next show is going to be Thursday afternoon, and that's with KJ. And then tune in Thursday for Sergeant's Time with Ice, Mike Golf, and Doc Madness. There we go. I don't know how to fucking talk. Oh, goodness. All right, you guys. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.
Bye, Nation.